We always have this conversation about the idea of a merger between the NDP, this time the NDP, though, and the Greens. So what do you think about these numbers?
Well, I think you'd have to talk to members of the NDP and the Greens about how they feel about a merger. I think the poor NDP, every time things get tight anywhere, people talk about them merging with somebody else. They've so far shown themselves unwilling and not really wanting to do that. I also think the dynamic between NDP voters and Green voters may be different than that between NDP members and Green members. I think the NDP, in some ways, has been very successful in parts of the province or parts of the country, for being much more, weighing much more heavily on its labor roots, on its friendliness with industry, on its jobs-related agenda. And I'm not sure that part of the NDP in the federal context would jive all that greatly with the Green Party and what they consider to be how they approach politics.
Robin, what about you?
Well, I don't have a Green membership card in my pocket here, so I'm not going to support any kind of merger. Look, sometimes that can, on the surface, look like an opportunity, but you have to go back to the party's roots. And the NDP is a party that was born out of the labor movement. Working Canadians united social movements with labor movements, urban environmentalists with working class Canadians, and truthfully, the Greens just aren't, outside of the environment, an incredibly progressive party. They have not had progressive labor policies. They've sometimes had quite small c conservative taxation policies on things like privatization. So I don't think there's just any harmony there, both in the eyes of their voting constituencies and their policy playbooks. So I don't think you're going to see that. But what I think Jason hit on something which is interesting, which is the fluidity of the Liberal vote and the kind of drop in support really is an opportunity for both the NDP and the Greens. And I'll be fair, you've seen the Greens do well at provincial legislatures. I don't think they're going to see that kind of result in the federal election, but it really is an opportunity that Jagmeet Singh and the NDP need to seize. That if you campaign on this government's failure on the environment while trying to champion itself as an environmentalist government, there are opportunities, whether that's in Quebec or British Columbia. And of course, the Greens going to be competitive in trying to push forward itself. I mean, it's in their name. They're clearly a pro-environment party, but they don't necessarily have the policy depth on other files, I think, to capture those progressive votes.